game, Summer Jam 2013. What are your feelings? What are your expectations? Tell us about it.
Well, expectations is never good. I feel good, you know. It's my hometown. Summer Jam is the biggest reggae festival in Europe. I love this place, I love the location, and it's nice to have Richie Stephens on my side right now. So we're going to do a little thing together on my set. He's going to have a show, you know. So it's the cycle flows again. So I'm very fulfilled right now. I think that's the word that would describe my emotion.
And what's your impression about Summer Jam 2013, Richie Stephens?
First of all, it's such a good feeling to be here on tour with Gentleman, and everything is going fine. Summer Jam, as Gentleman mentioned, is one of the biggest reggae festivals in Europe. I'm very, very, very happy to be a part of it. I'm doing a performance by myself, and then later on coming back to do some songs with Gentleman, because we have a couple of songs together. So I am more than happy right now. I just can't wait for the moment, you know?
I think the crowd has the same impression. And what do you're actually on tour together, and how does that go? How's the acceptance of your album, your new album, Gentleman, and of you guys playing together? How's it going?
It's nice.
Yeah, awesome.
No, it's really nice. I mean, like it's always, you know, when you do an album, you always start from scratch, you know. Every show you start from zero again. So it's nice to see that people embrace the music, the new album. More and more people sing along. You know, the album came out the 19th of April. And I feel like today Summer Jam now is a highlight this year because people start to know the albums, you know, they sing along, you know. They embrace the thing, you know, together with Richie now. He have an album out now too. Let me promote the album. His album's got real reggae music.
Yes.
You know, we did the album together called Live Your Life. I don't know if you guys know it. You know, so we did a combination album, Live Your Life. Then he did do a solo album called Real Reggae Music, and I did do a solo album named New Day Dawn. So it's like a lot of music now, a lot of new songs. The only problem is to create a set list, you know, because we only have 80 minutes. And it's a lot of, you know, it's pain in the ass, you know, to create a set list. Because you have to kick out certain songs, you know. So sometimes it's really difficult because the more songs you have, the harder it is to create a set list. But it's outstanding, and I love the way that people embrace the music.
Are you fighting about the set list? Does Richie Stephens want to have more songs, or how does it go?
Well, as Gentleman says, it's never easy because one of the good thing about myself and Gentleman is that there's a story exists. It's not just two people coming together to have to do some songs. You know, we go back 18 years back when he came to Jamaica and wanted to get into reggae music, and I was there. He basically expressed interest working. I listened to him. It was very easy to just get right into working because I realized that irrespective of where he's from and who he is, musical talent was there, and that's the most important thing. So after several years, here we are back together again. There was a time in my life that I needed that support. He reached out to me, and I'm most grateful for that. You know, we started doing some songs together again that turned out into a beautiful song called Live Your Life, as a song that meant so much to me. Then the album, out of requests from the public, came about. And then not just that, but I have a new album now. He has a new album, so awesome tour, just 3 albums together. So that is why the set list is so difficult to pick all these songs, you know. But the greatest thing is that there's a story behind the whole thing. And I guess that's one of the things that we hope to unfold here today on stage at Summer Jam.
And our last question, we're from Australian radio. When can we see you guys in Australia? Is there any interest into coming to Australia at some point?
Yes.
Thanks.
Richie, you've been in the reggae business for some time now. You give numbers of tracks, brilliant. What's the best content for Richie Stephens, because you've had collaboration with Bounty Killer on the line, and what's left for Richie Stephens now?
Okay, I'll answer the first question first. In terms of combinations, I've done a lot over the years. It goes way back from Garnet Silk, Mark Cabra, you know, several artists coming up. One of the reasons why I enjoy doing combinations is that I see it of two talents coming together. And I think a combination must be better than a solo song because two people come together to share two different audiences. Now, when saying that, it's still very important to maintain your solo career and to come with strong songs. You know, so hopefully I've been managing to do that over the years in your side. But where I go from here, as gentleman said, expectation is never a good thing. You know, you just have to relax and just keep on working. When you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So I am just comfortable writing, producing and singing and performing music. And where it will take me, I don't know, but I just keep on going. You know?
But it's still flying the flag anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is very, very important. I'll never stop. We never stop.
That's another question.
Eine Frage an Gentleman. Was für Musik hörst du zu Hause? Auch nur Reggae oder was anderes?
Also ich entdecke gerade so die ganze Motown-Zeit, die habe ich irgendwie verpasst. Und da gibt es so viel Musik aus der Vergangenheit, die ich noch nicht kannte. Ja, also ich bin gerade so in den 60ern. Ansonsten ist Reggae schon so breit gefächert und so vielseitig, dass es nichts anderes braucht. Und dann habe ich auch gerne mal Stille, so, weißt du? Also ich bin halt nicht so oft zu Hause, wenn ich zu Hause bin, dann kann ich auch mal irgendwie keine Mucke hören. Aber das Studio One ist immer bei mir, das Studio One ist aus. Und jetzt eben gerade Motown. Radio höre ich nicht, weil ich finde das Radio-Ding in Deutschland irgendwie so ein bisschen engständig. Was höre ich noch? Keine Ahnung. Also ich kriege auch viele Mixtapes so, und auch Demo-Tapes von Leuten, die mich interessieren, auch immer neue Artists. Ich gucke auch immer so ein bisschen, was so da draußen los ist.
Und wenn es den Reggae nicht geben würde, was würdest du sonst für Musik machen?
Also du kannst fragen, finde ich, das ist so, was würdest du tun, wenn? So, ja, das kann ich nie beantworten. Das macht doch keinen Sinn, überhaupt so die Gedanken zu haben, ohne Disrespect jetzt. Aber was würdest du machen, wenn du nicht Journalistin wärst? So, weißt du, ich meine, irgendwie hat das einen Grund. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Also ich glaube, Musik ist auch so ein wunderschönes Mittel, eben ja, mit vielen Lebenssituationen klarzukommen und die Gedanken und die Gefühle, die ich habe, ausdrücken zu können auf eine ganz natürliche Art und Weise und das mit den Leuten zu teilen, dass ich irgendwie mir die Frage nicht stelle, was würde ich machen, wenn ich keine Musik machen würde. Ja, also ich bin froh, dass ich das gefunden habe. Ich habe keine Ahnung, vielleicht wäre ich lost.
Gibt es hier in Köln Künstler, die du persönlich feierst oder andere oder auch unbekanntere Künstler?
In Köln jetzt?
Ja, guck mal, in Köln Hip-Hop-Seite.
Black First. Ja, also Black First habe ich immer gefeiert. Ja. Bei uns im Fädel und so. Das sind halt Songs irgendwie, weißt du, das. Nee, also ich bin echt Black First. Willi Ostermann. Ich stehe irgendwie auf, ja, Trude R und so. Ja, die sind Hip-Hop, Mann. Also Trude R ist richtig Hip-Hop. Das ist Street, das ist dieses Establishment ohne Kack so. Weißt du, für mich ist das Hip-Hop. Okay. Aus dem Hip-Hop-Bereich, ich habe jetzt einen Song gehört irgendwie von der Firma, von Tatwaffe. Da geht es auch um Köln. Ich habe das
mit Emo zusammen die neue.
Genau, das habe ich vor ein paar Tagen gehört, das fällt mir gerade ein, das fand ich mal knaller. Also. Ja, und ein Sample von ALLE, Hometown, dieser Sample von ALLE. Ansonsten bin ich leider viel zu selten in Köln, als ich das mir erlauben könnte, hier gerade ein Urteil über die Kölner Musicians zu fällen. Ja, aber es gibt, also Köln ist auf jeden Fall, ich glaube, hier passiert eine ganze Menge.
Direkt daran anschließend. Morgen tritt mit Is ein weiterer Künstler auf, der Wahlheimer Köln hat. Deutschland-Video. Kennst du ihn schon?
Is?
Is. E-E-S. Morgen 15:30 Uhr Green Stage.
Okay.
Okay, du kennst ihn nicht. Die Frage ist schon an.
Leider nicht, ne. Aber wer wächst meine Neugier? So, ist ein Wahlkölner aus?
Ein Wahlkölner ist ein Deutschland-Video. Er ist Richie Stephens, macht auch Ska, Reggae, hauptsächlich Breite. Also afrikanische Musik, die im Video zu Hause ist. Das ist jetzt morgen auf der Green Stage der Summer Jam.
Okay.
14:30 Uhr.
Ich bin leider nicht da morgen.
Ich habe jetzt eine Frage an Lesbo, und zwar aufgrund, weil du ein bisschen Frozen mit deiner Musik hast du ja eine finanzielle Unabhängigkeit, dadurch auch Freiheit.
Was denkst du?
Okay, das ist jetzt
weißt,
meine Annahme.
Ja, umso mehr Geld du verdienst, umso mehr gibst du aus. Der Rattenschwanz wird immer länger. Also,
Ich wollte erst kurz eine Frage und zwar, in meiner Annahme, wo es halt so ist, könntest du dadurch auch viel ermöglichen. Und hättest du noch so einen großen Traum, also durch diese Unabhängigkeit kannst du ja viel erfüllen. Was wäre so der größte Traum, den du noch nachjagst oder den du dir gerne erfüllen würdest?
Ja, also ob du es mir glaubst oder nicht, aber mein großer Traum ist, irgendwann mal unabhängig zu sein.
Das ist auch,
weißt du, auch das Music Business, das ist irgendwie nicht mehr so, wie es mal war. Ja? Und wenn du nicht irgendwie so ein Businessman bist, und der war ich nie und der bin ich auch nicht so, wenn du in den goldenen Jahren irgendwie darauf geachtet hast, dass alles cool läuft und die richtigen Berater um dich hattest, so, dann musst du halt dauernd touren. Wenn du mit einer Band, mit 18 Leuten, mit einem Nightliner oder einer großen Produktion Konzerte geben willst, ja? Und wenn du einfach eine große Familie hast und viele Bekannte in Jamaika und Charity Projects und so, dann ist das irgendwann ein Ding, so, es geht nicht darum, irgendwie unabhängig zu sein, sondern es geht darum, hungrig zu bleiben so, und irgendwie ein Ziel zu haben. Aber ich bin jetzt, ja, es gibt jetzt zum Beispiel Dinge bei Gemeinsam für Afrika, das ist ja das Ding, was ich unterstütze, wo ich mit Wolfgang Niedecken damals Botschafter war und bin und will einfach diese Afrika-Tour machen und will die Musik nutzen, um einfach noch auf ein anderes Level zu kommen. Also nicht nur dieses Musikding so, ja, dieses Gentleman sein, sondern eben auch mal einen Schritt weiter zu gehen. Das habe ich bis jetzt einfach noch nicht geschafft, ganz ehrlich. Das ist mein Traum.
ist das jetzt eines der nächsten Ziele, die du anpeilst? Du sprachst jetzt nicht darum, geht unabhängig zu sein, unabhängig zu bleiben. Jetzt erstmal diese Afrika-Tour und hast du dann schon eine weitere Zukunft voraus, so, vielleicht so ein Kindheitstraum, den du bis jetzt noch nicht geschafft hast zu erfüllen?
Also früher wollte ich Astronaut werden. Und ich würde gerne einen Segelschein machen und so, aber das kann auch irgendwie mit 60 nicht sein. Im Moment will ich einfach Mucke machen und gesund bleiben. Ich habe viele Ideen noch, ich muss nicht manifestieren.
Ich drücke die Daumen.
Danke.
Du sprichst davon, dass sich das Business verändert hat. Inwiefern? Wo gibt es jetzt mehr Probleme, die es vor ein paar Jahren noch nicht gab?
Ja, also das eine ist, dass es einfach durch die sozialen Netzwerke Platten nicht mehr gekauft werden, CDs nicht mehr gekauft werden, auch die ganze Moral nicht mehr da ist und ich nehme das den Youths auch nicht übel so, ja? Aber es ist einfach, es hat sich alles ins Live-Geschäft verlagert. Also früher hast du eben, let me talk English so.
Ja, okay.
So back in the days it was like that you needed to do a tour in order to promote your CD, and today you need to make a CD in order to go on tour. You know, so it's all about the live shows. So because of that, there's a lot of artists touring worldwide. You know, so the production and the quality kind of get diluted. You know, so that's a problem. But I am not complaining, and there is no better or no worse. There's just different. So I want to move with the time. You know, at the same time, I realize that we got to open up for different things. You know, and I'm very lucky that I was in a certain time where things went alright still. You know what I mean? So I'm an established artist right now because I started in 1993. That was my first live show, the band. It's been 20 years. There's a lot of talents in Jamaica, in Europe, who don't have the opportunity what I had back in the days. You know? So a lot of class will get lost in the masses. You know what I mean? So that's a problem. But as I said already, there's no worse or better, it's just different. So we gotta move with the time and don't complain. But it's like right now we're kind of in the nowhere land, you know? Now the streaming take over. You know? So it's like, they call it flat rate for music, something spiritual. Spiritual flat rate. You know, and that's a very, very funny thing to me. You know, because I mean at the same time, this YouTube gamer conflict, you know, is another issue. There's a lot of things changing right now. I think we're at the verge of change right now. So we need to, you know, see where it's going to.
And do you think you as a musician can take your part to do a step in the right movement so that artists get enough money from GEMA and institutions like that, and Spotify can't, for example, offer flat rates for music, or is there a possibility to do something from the musician side against that development?
Well, I think good music will always find their ears. You know, quality music will always find their ears. But the truth is that, how I feel is that the streaming thing is the future. You know, and I don't want to deny it, because if you go, I just came back from Scandinavia. You know, in Scandinavia, it's like the streaming thing is all over the place. Nobody buy a CD no more. I don't know, maybe in 2-3 years there's no more CDs on the market. The vinyl will survive, you know, for the vinyl lovers, but the CD will disappear, definitely. So, I don't know if I did answer your question, but, you know, just go on stage and mash it up.
I would like to ask both of you a question. It's kind of a what-if question, but still talking about messages, and I believe that messages are really important in music. So if you would have the chance to have a microphone and reach every single person in the planet, what would you tell them? What would be your message?
Well, that's a really global kind of approach that artists always try to take, and the one good message and the one thing that every artist always try to tell people is to live in love and unity. Because your culture is different from mine, your culture is different from hers. So you don't know too much about people's culture, but one thing you can encourage is to live in love. That is a universal kind of argument that people really dig. You know, everybody can identify with that. So that would have been my message.
Well, what binds us together is so much greater than what drives us apart, you know? So we need to look up to that. But we try to do that in every song we write, you know? But you just ask it, that's the aim, right? For every song we do, that's the aim.
What would you say? Could music, especially your music, free the minds of the people in some way?
Well, I think music is definitely, especially reggae music, you know, it's definitely much more than entertainment. There's a message behind it. At the same time, you can have the deepest lyrics in the world. If you don't have the sweet melody to it, nobody would listen. So in the first place, music has to move you, you know, but if you can find something for your spiritual growth, then it's beautiful, and then music becomes magic.
So it's the magic to do things, maybe also political things, maybe some kind of motivation.
I mean, music can definitely be politics, you know, politicians have difficulties to be musically, you know. So it's something, I feel a certain responsibility when it comes to songwriting, you know. But I'm a seeker too, you know, I'm still learning, you know. I don't want to be the one like, oh, it's like, what I write is the truth, you know, but you know, I'm striving for it. So, you know, I feel that responsibility. Yeah. And then when music becomes very powerful is when you write a certain line in your song, and you know as a listener, you have a certain thought, and this line of my song reflects your personal thought. And all of a sudden you feel like, wow, I'm not alone. Like me too, when I hear a song and I feel bad and I feel in a certain mood and I hear that line and I'm like, wow, I'm not alone.
Keep going.
Yeah, and this is what music does. Music is a community of strangers. Brings people together.
Richie Stephens, you influenced so many people, young musicians, but also like, other people, other youth. Who was influencing Richie Stephens when he was younger?
Oh, well, I mean, there's so much names I could call, but every time I'm asked this question, I always say Dennis Emmanuel Brown, because it's one of the first artists that I identify with as a child growing up. And there's a song called Cassandra, Ride On Cassandra, Ride On, which was a big hit back in my early days as a child growing up, and it was one of the first songs that I know the words to. And I used to sing it and entertain my friends around the community, and they used to tell me how much I can sing, but I didn't believe them until I actually did a performance outside of my community that turned out to be a success. And from that day on, I believed them, you know. And I started listening to Dennis Brown, how he used to pattern his style, and Dennis Brown is the type of artist that all of us Jamaicans love and would listen to. And people used to tell me how much I sound like Dennis Brown. So I started feeling that, wow, I have something good going on. You know, so Dennis Brown is the one that I give a lot of credit to, but I really and truly listen to a lot of other artists. You know, a whole heap of other artists. So that's pretty much, a question was asked earlier about the influence, if our music influenced people. And I was dying to come in, because the song between myself and Gentleman called Live Your Life is a song that is coming from a very deep place within my heart. I wrote that song out of a situation, the passing of my son, of course, and I was at a crossroad trying to decide what to do, where to go. and the song came out of that. And I called Gentleman up and talked to him about the song with the light to have him in the song, and he wrote his part. Now, it says, nobody can tell you what tomorrow brings, so live your life today. It was just something I was thinking about for myself. And then, it turned out that that line of the song becomes a big statement across. I mean, there's so many. I went to a church one time to just be a part of the service, and the pastor was preaching the service, and that was the topic of the day, live your life today. And then I realized how powerful that one line is. And it wasn't that I heard it somewhere else. It was just out of my suffering. So I would like to think that out of coming from the heart, putting good lyrics together, it is touching someone somewhere out there.
I've dropped in a little later, so I don't know if this question was asked, but your album is named Real Reggae Music.
Yes.
Do you think your reggae music that's being made now is not real?
No, that's not what I'm saying. There's some good music that has been created nowadays, but there are some really bad ones too. And there is a cry for real reggae music, especially on the international stage. So myself and my producer, who is Daddy Brownie, who happens to be here today, everybody give him a clap. Believe me, later on when you go back to the hotel, he will shake my hand for that. But anyway, we decided that we want to kind of take it back to the root and to kind of help to preserve what people is missing. So we decided to do this album that will create the original sound. So what we did is to contact a few producers, and there's one of them who decided to give us some tracks. So we have songs on it like, I don't know if you know the song Conversation from way back in the day. We got that rhythm track. We got Move Out of Babylon by John Clark, just to name a few. And instead of reproduce those tracks, we use the original tracks from the 60s and just wrote some songs into them. And so far we're getting good reviews to say the album sound as authentic as we would like it to sound. And if you don't have it yet, please check it out. It's called Real Reggae Music, as this lady said. I would like to think that we kind of recreate that song, Real Reggae Music. It's 14 songs, 2 covers. There is a cover by Bob Marley's No Wanna Cry, which most of you might want to ask, why did you cover that song? And there is a story behind that song as well, because that song, I wasn't even planning to cover Bob Marley's song. It came out of just, I should say, a surprise or magic or something, because there was this guy, he is here from Berlin too, and he was in Jamaica. And I went to check Danny Brownie at the studio, and he had this rhythm playing. I said, Richie, please at least listen to this rhythm. And I was kind of busy that day, but I said to him, I'll give you 5 minutes, play the rhythm. And he started playing the rhythm, and incidentally, the same progression in the rhythm was like the same progression in Don't Wanna Cry. And I immediately hear that melody in playing, and then we sat and talked for a minute, and I said to him, well, if I do this song, is it possible for me to get it for the album, because it fits writing? And he said, that would be great for me. And I said, no problem, and we did the song. So No Wanna Cry on it, and there's also another cover called True Believer in Love, done in combination with Richie Campbell from Portugal. Anybody know Richie Campbell? Okay, so we did a combination with Richie Campbell. So there's 2 covers and 12 original songs. So Real Reggae album is out. Please check it out.
The second single is Murder?
Huh?
The second single will be Murder?
Murder, yes.
Okay.
Yes, so like you know it.
Yeah, I spit it already.
Oh, wonderful,
Sure.
wonderful. That's and the first single was Real Reggae Music with Daddy U-Roy. Anybody know Daddy U-Roy? Okay, one of our legends, and it's really I'm very proud to work with Daddy U-Roy, because you know Daddy U-Roy is one of the founding fathers of our reggae music. You know, and he's still around, still doing well, still traveling up and down, doing music all over. So he's featured on the album as well. There is a song on the album that is very, very, very special. A song that myself and Gentleman and Albert Rosie is on, and it will be performed today right here at Summer Jam for the first time. So I am looking forward to that. Yes.
Letzte Frage, last question.
Dann frage ich mal dreist rein. Und zwar, du hast gerade über, you just talked about the Firma. Could you think about a collaboration song with them even?
I did already, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
ich habe schon mit dem einen Song gemacht, das nächste Jahrtausend hieß der Song.
Oh,
Ich glaube
okay.
im Jahr 2000. Aber klar, also, ich bin immer gern auch, ich bin immer offen auch für andere Genres und ich mag auch Hip-Hop, vor allem wenn er irgendwie eine Message hat, muss die Leute auch spüren können. Wir sind aus Köln, wir kennen uns schon lange und wenn der Track stimmt und die Message stimmt,
Dann wollte ich fragen, wann hast du mit Patois angefangen und wann hattest du quasi Ruhe vor den Hatern? Die,
also
weil du warst ja der erste Deutsche, der glaube ich auf Patois auch Musik gemacht hat. wenn
ja, ich habe
richtig-
jetzt nie so gesagt, ich fahre jetzt nach Jamaika und will mal irgendwie Reggae-Sänger werden, sondern es gab auch nicht so diesen Moment, weißt du, wo ich gesagt habe, ich lerne jetzt mal Patois, sondern ich bin da ja langsam reingewachsen und hatte auch nie den Plan, Reggae-Sänger zu werden.
Oder gab es überhaupt gar nicht diese Probleme, dass man von den Deutschen nicht akzeptiert wurde?
Ja,
Wegen
es gibt schon, es gibt immer Leute, die das nicht fühlen. Das ist der Hunger. Es gibt immer Leute, die das nicht fühlen. Ja, und vor allen Dingen, umso länger du am Start bist und jedes Mal, wenn du kreativ bist, da gibt es immer auch Leute, die das nicht spüren. Und das ist völlig okay.
Aber das geht an dir vorbei.
Also ich würde lügen, wenn ich sage, es geht mir komplett am Arsch vorbei, wenn es so böse Kritiken sind irgendwie, ja. Aber ich versuche immer so Lob und Kritik nicht zu nah an mich ranzulassen, weil ich weiß ja, was ich machen will. Ich kann das fühlen und deswegen ist es gut.
Und was verbindet
Alles klar.
euch beide?
Sorry.
Okay.
Das war jetzt
Freundschaft, Mann.
4 Fragen auf einmal.